everybody. What's going on? How are you all doing? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to decide if I want to send a text message or not. Kind of torn. Let's see. How are you all doing? Hey Dave, how you doing, man? How you all doing? So I'm just gonna stay over here. I was gonna send out a text message and all of that, but I can't take this video and repurpose it for YouTube. So not gonna, I'm just gonna jump right in. So hey everybody, you may or may not know who I am, but my name is Audria Richmond, and I am a marketing and brand strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build uncloned brands. And we are the brand that you come to when you want to become the obvious choice in your industry. All right. Just dropped a new book. That's what's up. What's the name of it? Drop the name of it in the chat. Enjoying my unicorn notebook. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. I think I'm going to send a text message, because last time I went live and I didn't tell my people, they were pissed. So let me just send out this text message real quick. So while I'm doing that, y'all invite your people, okay? I'm just going to let them know. I'm like, hey, I am live right now on Instagram. That's the beauty of having a list, right? Instagram, come and join me here. And then I put the link in there. The Real Black Agenda. Ooh, what's that about? What is that about? Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to put my URL in here. I think it's Audria Richmond. Okay, cool. I wanted to share that. Cool beans. All right, now I feel better. Whether they come or not, I just want to make sure I did it, because I don't want my people like, hey, we on the text message list, but we won't be getting text messages. It's expensive to send these text messages, okay? Okay. The text messages expensive. Do y'all do SMS marketing? Email is way cheaper than SMS, but SMS is highly effective because you're going straight to people's phones as opposed to email, right? And so email is like based on when people check it, whether or not it went to spam, so on and so forth. So we still might have a chance with SMS, but I still think you should utilize both. But anyway, I want to talk about not allowing your emotions to kill your business. And so what made me want to have this discussion is because after my mom died, it has been extremely hard for me to get my momentum back. And I don't know if you all remember me before my mother died, or if you all are how long you've been following me. But there was a time when, I would just be going live all the time. I'll be showing up all the time. I'm marketing all the time. And I still market all the time, but not as aggressively as I have done in the past, right? And so one of the things that I want to be very, I guess you could say, diligent about this year is being intentional around how is this affecting me, right? And one of the things I wrote down here is your revenue should not be a reflection of your emotions and feelings. Let me say that again, okay? Your revenue should not be a reflection of your emotions and feelings. And so let me tell you how I came up with this. So, and let me also say this before I get into that. There's a lot of people who teach business who don't be teaching the right thing, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because I feel like a lot of smaller entrepreneurs really believe that business is supposed to come to me. I'm supposed to get referrals. People should refer me business. It's like a level of entitlement. Like Instagram should show my content. YouTube should push my video out. Like it's a level of entitlement that can make a smaller entrepreneur lazy. However, if you go up the spectrum, and we're talking about millionaire entrepreneurs or more, right? We understand that you gotta generate leads every day. You gotta generate sales every day. That's a real business. If you're generating sales optionally, meaning sometimes you'll get a sale today, sometimes you'll get a sale a month from now, and you all are normalizing or accepting something that's really not supposed to be normal. Does that make sense, everybody? Just put yes in the chat. Because if you are an entrepreneur that understand that, like, if you don't work, you don't eat, then you have a different you will have a different approach and a different mindset around how you approach your business. Does this make sense, everybody? So the reason I'm bringing this up is because as an entrepreneur, your emotions cannot be a part of your business. Now, I know y'all thinking, well, I'm the business owner. For some of you all, it's just you. You don't have a massive team. And so if you don't feel good today for whatever reason, then it's easy to say, well, I'm going to take off today. I'm not going to go live today. I'm not going to send an email today. I'm not going to send a text message today. I'm not going to do these things that's going to help me generate revenue. And the reason for that is because you're thinking a lot about how you feel. And let me know if I'm talking to the right person. Maybe I'm just snitching on myself. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm just snitching on myself. But there comes a time in your business where your business needs to make money regardless of how you feel. Okay? Does it make sense, everybody? Because I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and they're like, oh, well, I didn't feel like it today. Or, today ain't a good day, so I don't feel like selling. I don't feel like doing sales calls. I don't feel like going live. I don't feel like DMing leads or prospects. I don't feel like your feelings cannot run your business. Okay? Hey, everybody. Give me 1 second. I had some in my teeth, and I can feel it. But anyway, so that's the first thing I want to leave you with. So I wanted to kind of set the stage on like why I'm talking about this and why this needs to be addressed and why this is a big issue. Okay. Your feelings is independent of your business. Your business don't have feelings. When you get that P&L at the end of the month, if you're doing, your proper bookkeeping and stuff like that, your P&L will tell you the truth. Right? And I remember last year when I was having my meetings with my accountant, she would tell me, hey, you need to make some sales. And I was like, nope, don't feel like it. I'm trying to find myself, right? This is what I was telling her. And I'm going to bring it home, right? And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't have opportunities to take a break. Or I'm not saying that if you need to truly break away from your business for whatever reason, whether it's personal or medical or whatever, I'm not saying that. I'm just bringing a recurring pattern that I've seen that was happening to me that I also see happens to my clients. Does it make sense? So last year, my accountant was like, hey, bro, like, you making money, but you need to like make more, right? Like, you making money, but you need to make more. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't intuitively feel like it. I don't even feel like writing a post. I don't feel like creating content. I don't feel like going live. I don't feel like launching. I don't feel like marketing. I don't feel like running ads. I don't fill in the blank with all the shit you got to do to make money. Okay. And so during this time, I'm frustrated with being this constant thing of like, you need to make money, you need to make money, you need to make money. But I'm also tussling with the fact that I need time for myself. Does it make sense? Now, for all the people who have a job and your business is optional, I need to talk to you for like 10 seconds, okay? If you have a job, okay, and it's giving you the freedom to not go hard for your business, that's not good, okay? Let me tell you why. Some of my clients who take so long to take off have a very good job that they can depend on, okay? This is not bad for your lifestyle, but it's bad for your mindset and your business. Because when you're not treating your business as something that has to grow and you're treating it like something that's okay to grow, you have a different demeanor, a different attitude, a different way of how you show up for that business, right? Versus if your business is your livelihood, and so if you don't feel good, the business doesn't make money, and if you're not making money, then you can't take care of your household. Is this making sense? So for our full-time entrepreneurs who don't have the flexibility or the financial backing of a job or a husband or whatever, we got to come out here and hustle and get this money, right? And a lot of the times your feelings, especially, let me just say this. When you have a job, you can have your feelings because you got something to rely on. But when you don't have a job and your business is your job, right? Your business is, how you make your money, then you, of all people, have to be emotionally stable. Does this make sense what I'm saying? I'm going to take you somewhere. I promise you, I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm just talking. Can we just chit chat? Just put yes in the chat. If I could just chit chat with y'all just for a few seconds, okay? Because the reason I wanted to have this conversation is because I was looking at my revenue. And my revenue was a reflection of my emotional state. Okay? Okay? When I was looking at my revenue, okay? When I was looking at my money, okay? When I was looking at the bottom line each month, this is what was happening. You feel me? This is what was happening. Hey, Cheyenne. Y'all see this? That's what was happening, right? And so I can look at every dip and tell you what was going on with me up here. This is how I was able to start acknowledging the patterns. So Calvin and I went to Funnel Hacking Live in February, and Tony Robbins was one of the keynote speakers. And he talked about like how to change your state. He talked about how you could change your state by being happy or by clapping or like moving your body, like how you can get yourself out of a rut, right? And I noticed that as I was looking at the revenue was going up and down, up and down, up and down, and down. It was like a roller coaster, right? But I can look at the dips and tell you where I was going through, right? So like I'll look at a dip. My mama died, right? Okay, for obvious reasons, makes sense, right? Then I would look at the dip and a vendor did me dirty. And I let that affect me emotionally. So whenever a vendor didn't do right, somebody I paid to do something, whenever they didn't do right, I let that affect me up here. So I let that go down. So you can see that then. Then you can see when I had a team and then we got rid of some team members. And so like you can see that. And so I started to internalize that like, I'm not a good leader. I don't know how to hire. I don't know how to fire. And I started playing victim. And the next thing you know, everything that I was starting to talk about with my friends, my community, my clients, everybody, I was starting to become negative. And this is something that y'all probably hadn't noticed because I'm not like coming on here cussing people out, this, that, and the third, right? But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I noticed that I was becoming negative, okay? I was becoming extremely negative. I was also becoming the victim, okay? Oh, woe is me. They did me dirty. They shouldn't have did me like that. I spent all this money with this raggedy ass agency and blah, 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 right? And I'm feeling some kind of way and I'm feeling like the victim. And if I'm feeling like the victim, what does that do to me? It makes me not want to do the work, right? It makes me like, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to do this. And guess who gets affected? Not the people who did me dirty. Not the people who had to leave. None of that. You know what messed me up is me. And this is where you have to take accountability, especially if you're a person who wants somebody to blame, right? I wanted somebody to blame. I was tired of walking up the hill and then get kicked back down, and then walking up the hill and then get kicked back down, and then walking up the hill and get kicked back down. And it seemed like right here at the peak, I know God is speaking through me right now. Right at the peak, I would always have issues. And let me tell you what the peak was for me. The peak was, okay, the peak was, this was the peak was. So let me take you back to the peak, the original peak. So in 2020, I published this book. Okay? In 2020, I published this book. Blew my business up, put us on the map. Amazing milestone. Okay? Like, it just set us up. Opportunities out the yin yang, podcast interviews, everything, you name it. People who normally wouldn't talk to me was talking to me. I'm finally getting certain invitations. I'm getting invited into certain rooms. Things are changing, right? We get to the end of the year, okay? We get to the end of the year. We did almost $900,000 in sales, okay, with a very small team. So just me, Calvin, and like a EA, okay? Virtual assistant, executive assistant, just 3 of us. Okay, an occasional designer, whatever. So if we did almost $900,000 with 3 team members, guess what ended up happening? Naturally, at the end of that year, capacity hits, right? And so that's an indication to me, you need to hire, right? Like, it's time for you to hire. Now, mind you, this is the part of my journey where I feel like, I guess you could say I was fighting, see, some of y'all ain't there yet. And this is why I need to talk to you now so y'all can get it. Okay? So I'm going back and forth, right? Like I'm like, I'm at the end of the year. I can't take no more clients. I'm booked to the max. I literally don't have a lick of capacity. So in my mind, I'm saying, well, how the hell am I going to multiply myself? So I started to become obsessed with leverage. Now, you will think that like, oh, you're an author. You got 3 books. You got courses. You got digital products. Let me tell you something. That is not leverage if you don't have anyone to promote the leverage. Let me say that again. If you're a person that thinks that just because you wrote a book, you created a course, you have a coaching program, or whatever the case may be, if you are one of those people that believe that I have those things, I have I have my books, my courses, I have leverage, you don't. Because unless you have someone who can market your leverage, you do not have leverage. Let me say that again. If you are a person who has written a book, created a course, made a digital product, wrote an ebook, whatever passive thing you thought you created, it means nothing if you have nobody to promote your leverage. If everybody got that, put a 1 in the chat. Okay? Now, with that being said, so we get to the end of the year and I'm like, how do I multiply myself? How do I multiply myself? So then I create our UnCloned marketing systems. Okay? And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got these systems, but shit, I'm still the bottleneck. I still got to coach people through the thing I just created. Right? I created the planners and I created the courses. I'm like, okay, all right, I got that. Okay. Then we introduced the Launch Circle. I think the Launch Circle came after the systems, if I'm not mistaken. So the Launch Circle comes after the systems, right? So that kicks up and everything's going with that, right? But I still don't have leverage. I'm still the bottleneck. I'm still coaching. I'm coaching people in the mastermind. I'm coaching people in the Launch Circle. I'm doing VIP days. I'm doing one-on-one calls. I'm doing a lot, right? I'm the brainchild, okay? I got the knowledge. Like, it's only so much my husband can do. It's only so much a EA can do. It's only so much a customer service person can do. So I had a shit ton of back-end people. But the issue I was running into is I didn't have any front-end people. Okay, so I didn't have any front-end people. So I was like, okay, well, how am I going to multiply myself if I'm the only one, right? So I was like, well, I don't want to be that person I don't want to be that person that put untrained coaches in my program. And y'all know what I'm talking about. There's so many people who are like, oh, you're going to get a coach, and that person don't know shit. That person don't know the curriculum. They ain't never watched the course. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about the company they work for. They done found this little person off Indeed or something. This person claimed that they were a business coach, and now they coaching you in your business, and they unsuccessful. And so I was like, I'm not going to be that person who gives my clients a coach, and that coach ain't trained. Introducing the certification program. Okay. So I create the certification program. That takes years to bake because now I got to get the trademarks, and now I got to create the curriculum, and I have to create the scoring rubrics, and I got to like create this program. So I thought the program was going to be the thing. So this will happen. So then I said, okay, I'm going to create the certification program. And after I create the certification program, that's going to be the thing that multiplies me. Like, I'm going to build a huge bench of UnCloned marketing pros, and we're about to take over, right? So we launched the certification program. 4 people join. 1 person drops out. 1 person makes it to the end. And 2 other people have things that they are working through personally, right? So I ended up with 1 certified UnCloned marketing pro. So then I said to myself, well, maybe my certification is too hard. That's literally what I was telling myself, right? Like, oh, well, maybe my certification is too hard. I probably should like simplify it. Maybe it's a stretch for people. But then I was reminded from my friend that having standards is not a crime. Okay? Having standards is not a crime. If I have a certain way that I want my clients to show up and be in the world, then if only 1 person made it, only 1 person made it, right? And I love our certified UnCloned marketing pro. Her name is Ashley Shepherd. She's freaking amazing. She like I could literally say, hey, go check out Ashley Shepherd. She's one of our certified UnCloned marketing pros, and I feel confident telling you to go do business with her because I know how she was trained, right? But I started to feel like my standard was too much. But let me say this, when you're the obvious choice, you are too much, right? When you're the obvious choice, right? When you're the obvious choice, you have to be the best. When you're the obvious, listen to me. When you're the obvious choice, you have to be the best. When you're the obvious choice, you have to stand out. When you're the obvious choice, you got to take up space. When you're the obvious choice, you won't blend in. When you're the obvious choice, you got to do the work, right? And so I can't be saying you're uncloned and we're the obvious choice if I have people that I'm letting be here when they should be here. Okay? So I said, fuck it. My standard remains. I'm not changing my standard. I will let them keep testing and testing over and over and over again till they reach it. But I am not like belittling it. So let me take you back. So if my goal was to build a bench of UnCloned marketing pros and I only got 1, that's not a bench, is it? Right? And Ashley has her own business and her own thing. So the way our certification work is you're getting certified to use our tools and resources and frameworks with your clients and customers. Okay. Now, if I only got 1 person and the 1 person is killing it with her business, then I don't have anybody. I'm back to square 1. Is this making sense, everybody? Because I'm setting you up for where I'm taking you. Is this making sense so far? Right? I created a solution, but I don't have any people that can work inside the business ongoing because I got to train people up. I got to help people, got to meet the standard. They got to read the books. They got to pass the quizzes. They got to do the capstones. They got to prove to me that they're worthy of being in front of my clients, being promoted in front of my clients, and working with my clients. They have to prove that, right? And so if I'm back to square 1, guess what that does to my feelings? Guess what? I feel like like for me, my peak is this book. The peak is the book. I haven't been able to get back to this peak because I'm in this pattern. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to create the UnCloned marketing systems. Okay, that didn't create leverage. Okay, I'm going to create the launch circle. Okay, that didn't create leverage. I got the certification program. It's a little hard. You know what I mean? And the other bottleneck with the certification was that I also had to wait on people who was willing to pay for it. Does that make sense? So that created a bottleneck. So it wasn't just about like, oh, I have people who want to get certified. Like, these people paid for the certification. And so I contact my certification mentor, and I said to her, I said, hey, look, I thought that I was going to be able to build this like massive bench of people who are certified that can work within the company. And unfortunately, like, that's not working, right? Because my certification ain't cheap, and so I ain't lowering the price. I'm not lowering my standards so I can make it easier for more people to get through. What can I do? Okay? Give me 1 second. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? And then this is what I told her. This is what I had proposed to her, and I asked her what her thoughts were. I said, I think my certification is supposed to be for our employees. Because if you work here, you have no choice but to do the job. But if you are deciding whether or not you want to join the certification, how much it costs, is it worth it to you? It's like, it will be fucking forever before I have a bench of UnCloned marketing pros, right? With that particular thing, right? So I said, you know what? I'm going to hire people who are certified, who works within our organization. That way I can control the entire process. Now, to be honest, I had came to that conclusion earlier, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm really ready to hire people, and I already had bad experience working with people, and I don't know if I want to hire people, and I don't know if I want to do this and that. And so I never ever explored that particular track. So then I said, well, all roads lead back to hiring. Okay? All roads. Everything I was experiencing, all roads led to hiring. Now, we are a high performance company. Okay? We are a high performance company, which means we don't play small at all. Period. There is no place in our organization where you could just chill and hang. Okay? Now, remember last year when I was telling you that my accountant was telling me like, hey, your sales is down. What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. So I ended up telling her that like, okay, I need time to think. I need time to think about what I want. I need time to reimagine my avatar. I need time to rethink how I want to show up in the world. I need time to think about how I'm going to multiply myself. I'm brilliant, but I'm burnt. I'm brilliant, but I'm burnt out. I'm brilliant, but I can't do this alone. I'm brilliant, but I need a break. Okay? And so doing those, so from like January of last year to September, I allowed myself to just breathe. I allowed myself to grieve. I allowed myself to forgive myself and to not beat up on myself, because I was being extremely hard on myself. I was feeling inadequate. I was feeling like a loser. I was feeling like I built something that's so big that I can't hold it. What UnCloned stands for is, for one, it means self-trust, self-love, and like knowing yourself, individuality. Getting to a place where you don't need validation and approval from people. Okay? And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just thinking. Okay? October comes around of last year. Do anybody here know what happens in October of last year? Okay? I'm telling you like what broke me down, and I'm telling you how I got my momentum back, and I'm telling you the mental shifts that I had to make in order to show up again. Okay? So, October comes around last year, right? We launched the UnCloned brand assessment. Okay? We launched the UnCloned brand assessment. And so when I launched the UnCloned brand assessment, we now have data, more data than we've ever had before on our clients and our community. Okay? Our UnCloned brand assessment has been taken, and I'm going to give you the exact number of how many times people have taken this assessment. And the reason I'm bringing up this assessment is because it's a pivotal point in this story. Okay? It's one of the things that we did to kind of break out of what we were going through. Okay, so we have had 1,620 people take the assessment. Okay? So 1,620 people has taken the UnCloned brand assessment. Now, based on everybody who took the assessment, 88% of people who have taken the assessment are in critical condition as a business. And the reason I created the assessment is because I coach so many entrepreneurs who are focused on the wrong thing daily. Okay? Like, whenever I ask somebody what they're doing, it's never revenue generating. It's always something that keeps them busy and preoccupied with something that ain't gonna make no money. Okay? And I said, I need the people who follow me. I can't speak for everybody else community, but I need the people who are tapped into the UnCloned community to know where they are stuck, to know what they need to be focused on. I need my people to know that you could be making money and still ain't got your shit together, right? Because I want to be one of the people who help Black-owned business, specifically, build a company that is professional, scalable, and exitable. Okay, and so if Black-owned businesses, we never hire. Okay, we never get past a certain dollar amount revenue wise. Yes, there are some unicorns of the world who, and when I say Black-owned businesses, I'm not talking about celebrities. I'm not talking about influencers. I'm not talking about, people who obviously would be making a shit ton of money. Who I'm talking about right now is small business owners, everyday business owners who woke up one day and said, I want to start a business. And I will tell you, after we created the assessment, we saw this happen in our community, right? So our community was just kind of like all over the place, doing all type of random shit. And then once we created the assessment, that's when it seemed like all my clients got aligned. Boom. All of them. Across the board, across all programs. Everybody got aligned because of this assessment. So then I said, I fixed that. I fixed that issue. So boom, that's done. But I still have not fixed the multiply me. Okay, we still there. So I'm like, okay, we getting some traction. We're getting there, right? So then we launched the assessment. It's a great success, and now I'm feeling reinvigorated, right? We take our community off Facebook onto school. The first couple of months of us being on school, lit. I'm talking about like we ranking, the group is winning, everybody showing up. And then probably around January, February, we start to see this happen with the group, right? People stop coming. They stop checking in. They stop getting active. They stopped showing up. And you know what I knew what that was? Because I had literally just experienced it. I knew that my people was letting their emotions run their fucking life. Okay? And that was the whole point of me getting started with this live. I'm not done yet, but I'm just letting you know, that was my first sign. That was my first sign that my community members were allowing themselves to go through something that keeps them from showing up, right? And so what I noticed was whenever a client is not going to renew, or they found another guru or whatever, this is what happens. And if you're a coach, let me go ahead and cue you up. This is signs that your clients, This is signs that your clients are disengaged. Okay, I'm going to give you some disengagement tips for people who are coaches so you can catch this. We're going to be way more proactive with this when we launch our next program. We got a whole entire retention accountability system integrated into our new program. So it's kind of like No Child Left Behind, but more positively. It's like no client left behind, no uncloned client left behind, okay? And we had that kind of accountability with an accelerator that we did a few years ago, but it wasn't scalable, right? It wasn't built for scale. So anyway, I'm constantly building these offers where it's cool because people get access to me, but it's not cool because we're not growing how I want to see us growing, right? And so I started to notice a decline in the group, right? And so these are some signs of disengagement. One, people stop showing up. That's probably the earliest signs of disengagement. People stop showing up. That, like, to me, if you stop showing up, if you won't show up for the community, I know for sure you ain't showing up for yourself. Okay? So, because the community is where the heartbeat is, where the pulse is. And so if life is life and you ain't showing up, you hiding and shrinking. How do I know? Because that's what happened to me. So that's the first sign, not showing up. The second disengagement that you will notice, not coming to calls. Okay? Not coming to anything live, like not showing up to live calls, not showing up to Q&A calls, blah blah blah. Number 3. So I just told you the first one. So stop showing up for calls. When you check in with them, they lie. I'm good, everything is good. It's not good. Because I've already seen you in good, and you're not good. But if you want to be delusional, cool. Okay? Not good. Got it. So, so I'm noticing these trends, right? And then I also noticed my trends. What was going on in my life when I was not showing up? What was going on in my life when I disengaged in the programs that I was investing in? What was happening in my life when I stopped asking questions and stopped being visible in certain circles and certain rooms? What was I going through, right? And so once I started to notice those trends and I started to notice my trends, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm not finna let my community or me let our emotions run the show. Okay? I'm not finna do it. So once I noticed those trends and once I noticed that with me, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm finna get locked in. I'm finna get locked all the way in. So recently I updated my Vivid Vision. Normally I have it printed out. Excuse me, here on my desk. I don't know where it's at, but we ended up having like our we created our Vivid Vision, and this gave me clarity. And I had started to reread a lot of the books that I was reading about hiring and firing and all of that stuff. And this is the part of the story that I want to tell you on why I feel like I was hostage before my breakthrough. This is why I was feeling like I was, held hostage right before my breakthrough. So remember when I told you that the business took off, the book did good, we did almost $900,000. Remember when I told you that part, right? Now, here we are in 2025, and I'm noticing the trend when I'm about to break through. Every time I'm about to break through, a vendor do some shitty stuff. They stop working on my project, or they avoid me at all costs. I've had actual community members who were super active in our community not do what they supposed to do on the business front and just completely ignore me. Like, stop showing up, just completely ignore me. I've paid people, agencies, stupid amount of money, and they not do what they need to do. So every time I'm about to break through, I'll be like, I'll build my emotional state back up, and I'll be like, okay, it's grind time. Let me hire somebody. Get burned. I'm like, oh, it's grind time. Hire somebody. Get burned. I'm like, oh, it's grind time. And then I started to notice the pattern. Are y'all starting to notice a pattern here? See, my level 1 stuff that I was going through, that was easy to break through. Right? I was breaking through that shit like it was nothing. Okay? Like my level 1 problems, I was busting through it. From Memphis, I left Memphis. Bust through. I started taking courses and learning how to make money. Broke through. I started building a name for myself and started publishing books. Broke through. Okay? See, all that level 1 stuff, that's easy. Because I was only accountable to me. Okay? The moment that I decided that I wanted to be bigger than me, that I wanted my business to not be so dependent on Audria Richmond, that I wanted to be able to build a company that can run and operate without me being a part of all of the client delivery. As soon as I made that decision, it's like the universe opened up and was like, we finna stop that. You think you deserve to leave Memphis and become a billionaire? Girl, bye. Let's take her money. You think that you deserve to be nationally and you deserve to be nationally and internationally and globally known? Send her another bad vendor. Oh, you think that you're finna have this massive team that can run and operate without you? Send her another bad vendor. And so I'm doing this. I'm trying to get to the next level, and I keep getting stuff thrown at me. I'm throwing shit back like, no, get off me. Get off me. Damn, I broke my keyboard. But anyway, I'm like, get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Like, I'm pushing stuff off me, right? I'm like, no, get off me. Like, no, this is my time. This is my time. You're not finna rob me of my time. This is my time. You're not finna rob me of my time. So what? Like, no, you're not finna rob me of my time. And as soon as I decided to say, you know what? The next test that's coming, I'm passing. I'm passing all the tests. Right? And I'm going to tell you the first test that came up recently, like this week, a few days ago. I hired this HR lady last year during my little situation. Wasn't ready to just quite hire, but I was kind of putting people on payroll that I knew I was going to need. And I wanted to hire a recruiter because I wanted to multiply my team. So I re-engaged her in February. Okay? Same time me and Calvin went to ClickFunnels in February. So I re-engaged her. Hey, I'm ready to hire. These are the type of people I want to hire. I wanted to hire 3 people. Okay? I wanted to hire a certification and coach trainer, an opportunity hour manager, and I wanted to hire our first UnCloned expert, which is like a public facing talent who will engage with our clients, so on and so forth. Okay? I wanted to hire those 3 people. She tells me, got it. Because I knew something was off when she wasn't recording the Zoom meeting, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like, I'm not trying to intrude on people's working environment, right? So when she came to the call and I was telling her my hiring needs, the call was not being recorded. So I was just like, well, I always take notes whether it's being recorded or not. So I already knew what I said, what we talked about, what we even had discussed. So we get off of the Zoom call. Probably like 2 days later, she sends me a Slack message and she's like, can you send me the job description and the stuff you needed for me to go do? And I'm thinking to myself, you told me you was not recording because you can remember, but yet here you are not remembering. Should have been a red flag, but I was like, okay, let me give it a benefit of the doubt. Okay. So that was in February. Tell me why I ain't talked to that lady until this month, May. Right? I thought, like, I don't know what the recruitment process was like. I don't even know where she was in the process. I don't even know what she was doing. And to be honest, I shouldn't have took so long to follow up with her once I noticed that she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. But I was busy with some other stuff, right? And this was something that we were going to do towards the middle of the year. So for me, it wasn't no pressure. It was no thing, right? So I sent her an email like, hey, I hadn't heard from you. Any update? Are you hiring? Do you need anything from me? Can you explain your process? I'm kind of confused. Where are we in the process? Super professional email. Okay. She sends me an email back. Oh, I can't really help you right now. I'm at capacity. The roles you want to hire for are too creative. And I just don't think I'm a good fit for you. And any other day, I would have felt some kind of way. I ain't even gonna hold you. Any other day, I would have felt some kind of way. But guess what? I was prepared. Okay? I was prepared. I was prepared. Remember earlier when I said I needed to be prepared. So, I said, okay, wishing you nothing but success. Okay? Okay? I was like, wishing you nothing but success. She works hourly, so she hadn't got paid anything. So we was good in that front. So, right, she could have just been straight up, hey, I can't hire for these roles. You know, they too creative. What you trying to do? I ain't seen this before. I'm not that girl, right? And that moves me to another point. There are a lot of service providers out here who are taking people's money, who don't have the capacity, the knowledge, or the know-how. Okay? And a lot of people are getting got because they want to be cheap. And in some cases, you're getting got because you want your goals so bad that you're not doing the proper due diligence. And so I took a course on LinkedIn about procurement. Okay. I took a course on procurement. Okay. And inside, do we got any like corporate people here that like work corporate, like get corporate contracts? Just put me in the chat. If you've ever tried to make any dime, I don't care if you getting paid in corporate $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter. All deals work the same in corporate. There's a discovery call. There is a vetting thing that has to take place. There's certain insurances and things that you need to have, you know, to be able to even have a corporate conversation. You are literally onboarded, right? And there's certain protocols that you need to follow and put in place. But then there's also, you got to do your proposal and like all of that shit, right? Like all of these things you got to do to get the job, right? And so one of the things that I noticed was we need a procurement process. Now, let me say this. Some of you all have probably heard me just say that, and it was like, well, you're not a big company. Why would you have a procurement process? Everybody should have a damn procurement process. How do you, so this is something that me and Calvin talked about. I will never hire a person just off face and value ever again, right? Because this person was a referral. I will never hire anybody just because somebody said they were good. Just because this is what I have learned throughout this process. Other people's standards are really whack in some regards. And so I have very high standards. So maybe a standard that worked for you don't work for me, right? So by us having a procurement process, this allows us to, one, slow down the sales process. Okay? That's number one. Number two, we should be shopping around. We should not be saying yes to the first meeting, the first discovery call, the first person that we see on the internet. We should be having several meetings, several rounds of meetings, and getting clear on if this person got the chops. We should also be stress testing our vendors to ensure that they are qualified to work for you. I'm never signing a long-term retainer with an agency ever again. Okay? And what I mean by that is I will never engage an agency until they can do spec work or do some type of test project to ensure that they understand our brand and our brand guidelines. Okay? I'm not going to go down the whole list of like all the stuff we're going to be doing as a company to put these things in place. But there comes a time in your business where you can't do business with people like you buying a watermelon off the side of the street. Okay? And for some of us, we don't understand what stage of business we're in and how we should be showing up professionally to collect checks. I'm not Venmoing you your consulting fee. I'm not Cash Apping you your consulting fee. Hell, I don't even want to PayPal you your damn consulting fee. Okay? Or whatever it is that you charge for. And so I'm going to start becoming hyper focused on how people show up. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, if you telling me you charge $20,000, but your website say, oh, it ain't been updated since 2013. You ain't got no privacy terms. You don't have a contract. You don't have an invoicing process. You don't have a proposal. You don't have shit that qualifies you to be charging this kind of money. I'm not hiring you. And so I am taking accountability and saying, I'm going to be a better company. I'm going to be a better leader. And we're going to introduce a procurement process so we won't keep having these bad experiences with these unprofessional people. Right? Because everybody don't care about their reputation like that. Everybody's not trying to protect their reputation. Some of these people are out here to see how many dummies can I scam and how many dummies will give me their money so I can have an exit and get out the game. Like, there's so many people who are taking advantage of your ignorance. Right? Had I had the procurement process, I would have known at the meeting she want my person. But I keep giving people grace. I keep giving people chance after chance after chance after chance to prove to me, okay, that they already, what I already know. I already know. Like, you can tell by how people show up. If you ain't active in your business, how the hell are you going to be active with me? If you don't show up for yourself in your own business, how you going to show up for me? And this is something that I learned from my friend. Now, when I do business with anybody, I study the leader. Like, if I'm going to do business with a particular company, I'm studying top down. How do the CEO show up? If the CEO show up trash, guarantee everybody else that's reporting to them, they probably also trash. Because you attract what you are, right? And so I was just like, okay, cool. And so the reason I kept attracting these crazy situations is because I wasn't slowing down. I wasn't looking. I didn't have a procurement process. I was allowing myself to be easily defeated by something that could have been protected with a process. With the process, I would have been saved. So I'm saying all this to say, because when you look at your revenue and you see the up and downs of your revenue, it's easy to get caught up in your feelings and how you feel. And let me say this. Your business should be able to function regardless if you're having a bad day or a good day, whether things are going up or going down. Your business should be able to be a separate entity that can generate money without you. If the only way you can make money is because of when you show up or how you sell a product or service, and you're not being diligent about what multiplying looks like, and you're not taking accountability for that, you are opening yourself up to burnout, frustration, being pissed off. And a lot of my problems could have also been solved if I wasn't so afraid to hire after I got burned from hiring. Does that make sense? Like, I delayed hiring because of a bad experience I had. And because I was having these bad experiences, what I know now that I didn't know then, it wasn't that I was having bad experiences with hiring. I was hiring underperformers. What did I say earlier? If we are a high performance team and I'm hiring people who don't want to work, who don't want to show up, who don't want to meet our standards, then they're out of alignment. And this is why having your vivid vision and your core values and your mission statements and all of those things, you got to understand your culture as a company. And when anybody comes to your company and want to work for your company, they need to know. They need to know how you work. They need to know what's acceptable for you and what's not acceptable for you. But it's not about you per se. It's about the company. Here at UnCloned, you will work. Here at UnCloned, you will learn. Here at UnCloned, there's always opportunity for growth. And so because of those things, and because I started putting these systems in place, I feel more confident to hire. So I hope that this has been helpful, insightful. If you all have any questions, you can drop it in the chat, or you use the Q&A box. I don't even know if that still works here on Instagram. I also will be taking this replay and putting it on YouTube. So if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, let me know in the comments your biggest takeaway from today's video. But if you're still here live with me and you have any questions, drop them in the chat and I will answer them. So I hope this was helpful. I was just going through 2 of your books this morning. Thank you. Some people don't know what an invoice is. Yep. Yep. And to be honest, let me just say this too. As business owners, there are so many things we just don't know. And you have to be okay with the fact that, like, okay, I don't know that. How am I going to go learn it? Saying I don't know is not an answer. It's not something you should be proud of. Like, for instance, I remember this girl had got pissed off at me because I didn't share my vendor with her. And she was like, I just want to know where you got this thing from. And I'm just like, girl, Google. Like, whenever somebody asks me about like a vendor or something that's like Googleable, like, if you want to know where I got my shipping boxes from, just type in shipping boxes. Like, literally, you could go to Google and type in shipping boxes. Okay? I typed in shipping boxes, and literally, I felt like all of these companies, and the company that I use came up at the top, Pack Lane. That's one of the companies we use. So a lot of the times when people say they don't know something, let me just say this. Savvy business owners don't care what you know and don't know. Your business don't care either. Your business going to operate and thrive if you know what you're doing and you show up for it. And your business will die if you stop showing up for it and you stop caring for it. Okay? So, anywho, hopefully that was helpful. Let's see. The way a person handles just anything is how they would handle everything. Absolutely. You are top tier. She was just lazy and dishonest. Yeah, she should have just told the truth off the rip. Like, stop playing though. She should have stated that from the beginning, right? I'm going to get blasted for this, but the hiring and network folks refer you to their cronies, and the opportunity to serve gets stuck in a circle of influence. It does. You went high, God bless you. She should have been honest. Yeah, thank y'all for this. Okay, cool. Let's see. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. I want to take a social media break. However, I decided to take a personal break and be strategic about social business activities. Have you managed breaks in the past? How have you managed breaks in the past? I'm actually at the point now where the first thing I did to start creating breaks for me is how I do my business, like how I serve in my business. So we used to coach our clients like every other day, all throughout the month. Now we have this thing called UnCloned Coach Week, where we do all of our coaching calls in 1 week. That allows us 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how many weeks in that month, to have weeks for promotions, launches, marketing campaigns, and things like that. But the way my business is designed now, I could take breaks. My dilemma personally is that I need to multiply myself. And the only way I can multiply myself through the type of business I have is through people. Clients don't want to work with an AI coach. They will, but they don't want that. They want a human to look at their stuff, tell them what's going wrong, so on and so forth. So for me, I'm going to have to multiply through people. And so that's the direction that we're going. And I told my husband, if I start to hire and I'm trying to hire and hire, I may just stop doing coaching altogether. Like, I just sell courses. I continue to do workshops, stuff like that. But I may not even have a coaching program if this next thing that I'm trying to do don't work out. I just don't have it in me no more. I don't have the patience anymore like I used to. And so I'm definitely going to hire for this new group. Now that I'm noticing those patterns, I'm noticing those tests. Now I know how I can show up and do what I need to do. But hopefully that answered your question. Definitely have to delegate and build a you. Yes. And so let me also say this real quick. We do have UnCloned Brand Live coming up July 18th through the 20th, which is my birthday. I would love to see you all at the conference. We just introduced a new bonus where you get a 30-day all access pass to watch the replays. So whether you can attend the conference or not, it's worth getting your tickets because you'll get access to the replays for 30 days. And so the tickets are still in early bird, but they're going to get out of early bird, I want to say at the end of this month or next month. I don't know, but get your tickets. You can click the link in my bio to get the tickets to UnCloned Brand Live. We're currently at, I think we close to 80 attendees because I got to add some more people to the list. But I would love to get us to 100 people for this conference. And because I know how big of an audience we need to get more people. So there's that. I'm right here at the same place. I was just telling my team about your UnCloned assessment today. This really blessed me. I'm afraid to hire again too. Yes, because like you can't let your fears stop your business, right? And I really believe that entrepreneurship is a mental game and a sustainability game. Like, how long can you sustain yourself? How long can you stay focused and grind out? And how can you run your business without your emotions running the show? Like, that's the thing that takes people out, is when you let your emotions run the show. I was letting my emotions run the show. I'm finna let processes run the show. I'm finna let people run the show. My emotions is not finna be the death of my business, period. Okay? And I'm not finna let issues that arise be the death, none of that. Because I have to learn. It's easy when I work for myself, but I'm also, because I know how to do a lot of things, it can always make me feel like, oh, you don't need to hire, you don't need anybody. Yes, I do. Just because I know how to run my business with my damn eyes closed doesn't mean that I don't need help and that I don't need support, right? And I think that could be a mental trick too. It's like, well, girl, you already know how to do your own thing. What you need to hire somebody for? What you need to pay somebody for? If you stuck in the trenches doing operational things in your business, you're not growing. You're just maintaining, sustaining. That's it. You're just maintaining your current growth. But if you're trying to grow beyond your capacity, you have to, one, create a vision that's beyond your capacity, and two, you got to do what's required for the new level of business that you want to be on. I can't want to build a $10 million business thinking like a solopreneur. That is completely fucking stupid. Yet we try to convince ourselves over and over and over again that we can run a enterprise business with one team member and an assistant. Y'all delusional. And I was too. And there's a lot of dusty coaches on the internet who don't teach you how to hire. They just don't. And it's frustrating because there's so many coaches that teach you how to be small because they small. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I think at one point I had told myself like, oh, you don't necessarily need to, you don't need to hire right now. Like, hiring is expensive, right? It is expensive. But you know what else is expensive? Death. Okay? I'm not going to die from burnout because I didn't want to hire somebody and pay them. This is dumb. Does this make sense? Anyway, let's see. Okay, so I answered that question. Let's see. I'm right there with you. Okay, I read that one. Yes, y'all have to come and celebrate with us, purchase your ticket. Yeah, and it's my birthday weekend, y'all. That's another reason to get your ticket. It's also like celebrating my birthday party. Okay, I can help you with hiring the coaches and vetting team. I like hiring teachers, no charge. You bless me so much. I'll be willing to hire operations people. Yeah, send me a DM. Send me a DM. That'd be pretty dope. True, I had a coach scam me out of work I did for them, then showed up on stage as leaders in the program where I met them. I immediately decided to not let it take me out. Ooh, girl, me and you would be on Instagram Live for a week talking about these shady jokers on the internet. And that was another thing that I started to do too. I stopped listening to a lot of these people on the internet because they don't know shit. And I started to study business owners who were, one, consistent, has some major milestones and achievements. And I started to study people where my business size is laughable and where I'm not the biggest business in the room. Does this make sense? Like, in certain rooms that I go into, I'm the biggest business. Like, it's like, oh, Audria, you know, what's up? Ooh. And it's just like, no, I knew, and this is another sign that I wasn't growing. Another sign for me, and I'm only speaking for me, I can't speak for everybody else. Another sign of me not growing is being in rooms where there's no growth. Okay? No growth in the people, no growth in the leadership, and no evolution. Okay? I can't be in environments where there's no evolution. The other thing I started to notice is that I need my business to be laughable, right? Because I need to be in rooms where I'm the small dog. I don't need to be in rooms where I'm the only one killing it and crushing it and showing up. That means I'm in the wrong environment. Period. Right? Now the content that I'm studying, I'm watching billionaires. I'm looking at billionaires' content. I'm looking at how they make moves. I'm looking at the operations of bigger companies, corporations, and things like that. Like, I'm not studying these internet jokers. These internet jokers don't want to work. They want it fast. They want to be able to create a little ebook, a little digital product, a little digital course. They don't want to talk to humans. They don't want to deal with customer service. They don't want to interact with people. They don't give a shit about people. Those are the people that's scrambling on the internet. And this is another thing I noticed. Those jokers on this side of the equation, I'm talking about Instagram and Facebook, they could never hold a flame to LinkedIn. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because on LinkedIn, you can't go play that goofy shit over there on LinkedIn. Like, there's true professionals over there. There's true executives over there. There's true employers and people who make money over there. I feel like Instagram and Facebook and a lot of these other social media platforms, they don't have the same accountability as a big corporation because they don't play that, right? They will sue you if you don't do what you're supposed to do. If somebody burn you on this side, you got to, one, get the money to sue them. And two, who wants to be suing folks? Right? Like, I just feel like it's so much easier to scam when you're not legit. And the cool thing about our company, I can play on both sides, boo. I can be legit and official on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It doesn't matter the platform. Because we got our shit together. And we are a company that's not just an online business. So, I just wanted to share that. Because a lot of people can get caught up in a lot of this stupid stuff on the internet. And if you're not careful, you will get got. Okay? How do I know? I have gotten got plenty of times. But I'm not allowing that to determine where I'm going and where I'm heading and what I'm doing. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope y'all enjoyed today's live stream. And don't forget to get your tickets for Uncloned Brand Live. You can click the link in the bio. Or you can go to uncloned.live to join us and get your ticket. And until next time, y'all, okay? Until next time, y'all, I want you to live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all.